Join the Point High Book Club train chat. Hi guys. I'm going to be talking about The Train by Diane Hoh. It's got this really super creepy cover with the hand and the skeleton. It's just so cool. I love it. Such a cool cover, this one. Very iconic from the 90s. Hello everyone. Right, just going to add Sarah in. Sarah will come on and join us. Sarah! Hi everyone. Hi Sarah. Hello.
Hi.
Yay! How are you?
Well, I'm sorry about the state of me. I actually look like a point horror myself. I've had a bit of food poisoning today.
Oh, bless you.
I was
Oh.
up all night, so I was a bit like, right, I'm ready for grotesque.
Oh, well, we can just pretend that you're
Fine.
Frog
Fine.
from the train. But you look fine to me, Sarah. You look
Thank you.
absolutely fine.
I'm just looking at all my oh, I really am 50.
I do that though. So I'm like,
And
the
Instagram,
bags.
we get so used to Zoom where you can smooth the face out, and then Instagram
Yeah.
it's like, hello.
Oh, bless you. Well, thank you for joining us, even though you're not feeling very
Thanks
well.
for having me, and thank you for introducing me to my first point horror. I feel like I might have to dig out the rest now.
Yay!
I'm a bit too old, you know. Like I was that. Because when did these start? When did they start?
So I would say around 92 over here in the UK.
Yeah.
And it probably in its run ran till around 96, 97, I'd say, when it started phasing out. But definitely 91, 92.
Yes, I was practically somewhat too old at that.
So when was this one? Yeah, so this one was 1992.
Because I looked her up, and she's written loads of kids' books and everything, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's done so much.
Mm.
She's done a few Titanic books and things like that. So yeah,
her website on her Amazon page today, and it said she'd written 56 children's books.
Wow, I didn't realise it was quite that many.
Yeah. Well, I guess that was what, 30 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I actually managed to get in touch with Diane Hoh last year, and I managed to do like a written interview, which is on my blog. And it was just fascinating to hear like the process and things like that, because you know, over here they were kind of picked out of a box and then published as this point horror brand, whereas over in America it was slightly different. So it was quite interesting hearing her take and how she got her agent and things. Say that again.
Is that only one that she did for point horror?
No, she's done a few for point horror, and then she did like the Nightmare Hall series for point horror as well. Yeah, so definitely she's one of my favourites, point horror, from the 90s. So good. So everyone, this is Sarah Pimbra, if you don't know already. The lovely Sarah Pimbra. So New York Times best-selling author, Sunday Times #1, basically international best-selling author, and I'm a huge fan of Sarah. And I think I started following you a few years back when I think you released The Death House. It was, which was really, really good, and loved it. And I think 13 Minutes as well around that time. And then you did Behind Her Eyes, which was an adult thriller, which has been developed for Netflix, which I do have a copy of, I promise, but I can't find it anywhere. All I could find was Cross Her Heart.
And them too as well.
Oh, but no, it is here somewhere. But if you could see what was to the side of me and off screen, you'd be like, oh my life, that's so many books. But
I see Dawn in the chat. Hi, Dawn.
Hi, Dawn. And Emma's here, and Karen's here. Everyone's here. Hi, everyone. But most recently, I've just started reading this, Sarah, and I'm hooked already. So I'm going to be finishing this soon. So Insomnia is your new book. And actually, it's so good.
99p on Instagram for the next 2 days, I think. And then I'm not on Instagram because the show's on a bit late today. 99p on Kindle.
Oh, well, definitely. As I say, I've just started reading it. I'm hooked already. I think I'll probably finish it tomorrow. But if it's 99p on Kindle, I'd go and grab it because it's so, so good. And I just love this cover, though. This cover's
I do.
amazing.
I love the American one too, but I really thought they did something a little bit unusual with it.
Yeah, it's like this is not doing it justice, but it really looks like the book is like cracked and
Broken
it's
glass and everything.
it's
Yeah.
really, really nice. I really love it. It's brilliant. So obviously this is your first point horror. So as a teen then, what kind of books were you reading and do you think they had any influence on your writing?
Oh,
Like,
I mean, if these had been around, I would have been reading these. I read Stephen King, James Herbert. I used to read
oh,
books of horror. You know, those old short story books, because I was at boarding school, so a lot of it was just what was on the shelves, and a lot of those old horror short stories.
yeah.
Hi, Brazil.
Hi, Brazil.
All of Brazil. Hi. And I read quite well when I was young. I think we read better when we were kids. Like I would read
Yeah.
like Dracula, and I mean that did scare me. I think I was about 11 when I read that.
Mm.
Yeah, I used to read a lot of spooky things, and then Daphne du Maurier, people like that who had really
Oh, yeah.
psychological thriller before psychological thrillers were out, sort of stories.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Roald
brilliant.
Dahl, creepy stories, and that kind of thing. So yeah, these would have been really up my alley
Yeah.
had I been 10 years younger. Quite like that we didn't have as much teen fiction. I mean, obviously, I read all the Enid Blytons and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you kind of went from that to adult, you know. So it was straight from that to James Herbert, and I think we could have done with a little bit of middle ground.
Yeah, and that's where I think point horror really kind of broke the mold a little bit, like back in the 90s, because they were that middle ground, and you know, you're just going from like Goosebumps, say, and
because I was just going to ask you about Goosebumps. Were they like for younger kids?
Yeah, I'd say Goosebumps were more like middle grade, what we call class as middle grade.
Yeah.
Nowadays, and then definitely Anne Finnis and her team definitely found like a gap in the market for these like point horror books, so they labeled them as horror, and really they're like mild thrillers, like, but it does put people off.
I was surprised because I was like when I was reading it, and then Frog wasn't in the coffin, I was like, oh my god. And then it was cleverly not actually a horror in the sense of like ghosts and ghouls, and you know, because like the skeleton hand
it's so creepy. But yeah, but a lot of people do get put off by the horror element, the horror title, but they are literally mild thrillers, and being from the 90s,
creepy stuff in there,
know, definitely
they don't mix it up, do they really? You know, I mean, like that. At first I thought, oh, maybe no one's actually going to die. You know, when Shelley had the thing, and then you have someone else has a near miss, and I thought, oh. And I was sure Kerry got it in the shower. You know, when the other girl, Jean Marie, went out.
Yeah.
Kerry's going to be like hung up in the shower. But yeah, I was surprised that kids actually died in it.
Yeah.
You know, it sort of it builds to it quite nicely.
It does, yeah. And that was kind of the good thing about point horror. It was, you know, just mild enough. Not your Stephen King quite yet, but it was just mild enough to like get you there.
You know, enough to have enough story without being a full.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a kid and you're getting into reading.
Yeah.
These I think would be great for boys. I mean, I used to be a teacher, and boys at school. If I'd known more about these, I would have pushed these more, I think, because they
definitely
don't dating and they look like they're fun.
Yeah.
But I like that the boys, apart from Frog, were kind of irrelevant to this. You know, they were all there for like a little bit of, oh, I'm just going to go and leave my head on his or ass. You know?
Oh, they really were. They really were. I think to become a mum's just put there was not much gore or blood like in a point horror book generally.
I guess they probably had, if they were American, they must have had some quite strict guidelines.
Yeah, definitely.
friends, there was no heavy petting or snogging.
No.
There was some head leaning. That,
There's normally like a hair flick as a
yeah,
flirt or something like that.
yeah. But there was no swearing. There was no proper. I mean, there was quite no gore, but there was violence, wasn't there? I mean,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So essentially, I do like a little summary just of the train.
because
And
I'm presuming there's no spoilers here.
well, I was just going to say there will be spoilers ahead for the
Oh,
train, so we can
I've probably
spoil
just
it.
spoiled it.
It's fine.
I've just already got like.
And you know, there might be some discussion where it's like light-hearted, but our love of point horror will shine through.
I can tell already.
And if anyone who's joining in has got any comments about the book, I'll try and read them out. Sometimes I do miss some, but I'll try and read as many as I can, and we can have a nice little book discussion. So essentially the train is about, so I did a little thing like, welcome to Parker High School Teen Tour. So it's a Chicago to San Francisco train departing at 3:00 on a Wednesday afternoon. And it's like a huge blue silver train with dark paisley walls inside. And apparently you can hear the wheels beneath your feet, but surprisingly they're quiet and there's no sway back and forth. So it sounds like a top class train. So we've got 4 friends, Hannah, Mac, Kerry and Lewis. And then also down the line, we've got Jean Marie. And they
She
basically
just kind of pops up, doesn't she, Jean Marie?
just pops up and just tags on with them, essentially. And they find a coffin in the luggage compartment covered in like this black cloth. And they discover that it's someone that they know, a boy called Frog, who died a few weeks ago prior in a car accident. Apparently he burned to death and it was all very gruesome. But why is the coffin there and why has it got his name on it? So one by one the gang all seem to confess nasty things that they've done to Frog before his death, and one by one they all seem to be viciously attacked. I say viciously. Some viciously. Has Frog come back for revenge, or is he really dead and gone? And can Hannah really be one bread slice short of a loaf, as someone calls her in the book, and is someone out to get them? So where do you run and hide on a train? There's just nowhere to go, apparently. But we know different now. We've learned things from this book. So essentially the train gave me like a bit of Murder on the Orient Express vibes, and a bit I know what you did last summer, and a bit of an Inspector Calls where you've got these.
And also this would never have happened on an English train because this train was very dedicated to keeping going.
Yeah.
Like, no one was getting off that train. They had stops to get. You could get off and go home if you want, but it's all right that someone's nearly got murdered. Let's carry on.
Just carry on. We've got to get to San Francisco. I mean, why did, like, other than Lolly, which we'll talk about a little bit later, obviously she got off the train.
Yeah.
But other than that, no one really. There's all these kids. What was there, about 30 or 40 kids?
Yeah.
And none of them really expressed a desire to get off the train.
Even though, like, when they went to, I think it was with Jean Marie, when she went back to tell her roommates she was going for her fateful shower, her roommate, she had to knock 4 times before they'd unlock the door.
Yeah.
I thought if you were that scared, you could have got off at Chicago, wherever it was, and got the, you know, when they offered you. And the train detective as well was pants.
Oh, with his love of brown.
Yeah. Just like, well, I just thought, wow, we've got like, it's not Hercule Poirot on that train.
It was so interesting, that detective, because he comes in like halfway through the book and he essentially does nothing.
He does absolutely nothing apart from say, what are you doing trying to open that coffin? I thought I left something in here when I was trapped in it overnight.
And as Wednesday Adams just said, my question is, why was there only one member of train staff?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
so
obviously we had a
true.
nice cafeteria, which I always love it. I love an American train buffet car. So I was like, oh, they're going to the buffet car. I thought there was a missed opportunity for something like glass in a sandwich, but that might have been too violent for point.
Yeah, but
Mm.
you know, our brains think differently. We would have done it definitely.
Yeah, it would have been very point horror. It would have been very horror.
But yeah, the conductor as well. I think the only thing I noted down about him, other than useless,
Yeah,
was that all he tended to say was, "Should I get you a tranquilizer?"
yeah, because they have them train conductors. Like
Just
loads
in
of
the
them. Yeah,
pocket, you
loads
know.
of them.
Oh God! And Dawn's putting the viewing platform on the train. What is that? So is that like where they all sleep?
I think isn't the viewing platform where they have like isn't that like in the Orient Express where you have the bit at the back of the train?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I've been on American train once. It was a double decker train. So that was quite cool. But
Ah.
it didn't have a viewing platform and it was more like the one from that film that blew up and they kept having to repeat time over again.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh, but at least you survived and you didn't find a coffin and
No, I didn't find myself
anything
in
like
that, which would have been quite horrible.
that.
That to me was the creepiest part of the whole book. Was
yeah,
yeah. And because you just knew, like, there's a coffin there, someone's going in that coffin.
yeah, definitely. And that whole scene with Hannah in the coffin. So basically, they get told not to be left alone, and then Kerry decides, I need to go back for my chain, gold chain from the compartment, and leaves Hannah alone. Someone puts a cloth over her mouth and drags her into the compartment and essentially puts her in this coffin
Yeah, also,
and like
where
seals
did
her
that
in.
chloroform from?
Just random, you know, this is what killers have.
Yeah.
It was a bit random, but it was the whole description of her being dragged back when she's trying to like put her feet in the carpet, and I thought it was all really dramatic.
Really good.
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously,
Sides, and she's like, I'm in a tight spot. Oh, that feels like silk.
yeah. Oh, but did I did find it a little it sounds really mean, but I did find it a little bit funny when she was trapped in the coffin, just because of the way she was like, I'm going to push down with my legs, I'm going to go back up, I'm going to go to the side. I'm thinking, how big is this coffin?
How you had that? I thought either she's like 5'1" or something, and it's Frog was a big man, or like literally you're in a coffin. There's nothing above you, nothing. Like you should have you straight away known. And also the thing that was the least scary of that bit was knowing that she knew she wasn't underground. So
yeah,
she hammers on that coffin long enough, someone's coming to get her out.
yeah,
But it was
definitely.
still not a thing I would like. That was to me quite the creepiest. And the shower thing, when that you could just hear Karen's shower still running, I was sure there was going to be something.
Oh yeah. I was hoping for some like Psycho vibes, like
Yeah, exactly. I think there was quite a lot of artistic license within the pages of this book, with leaps of faith, with oh well, she hauled her up through this, the hatch in the ceiling. You hauled a whole person up there.
and they tried to say it was because she had a bench to launch herself up off.
They were very, very fit children.
Yeah. Can you imagine, like, so spoilers for the villain. So Lolly is the villain.
I knew straight away the minute she was like, "Oh, I'm nearly strangled, but I'm not." I thought, "Oh, she's done that to herself." But then I had a second thought, because when no one else was actually dying for a little while, I thought that's just maybe Lolly's something to do with his accident. But no, Lolly was batshit crazy.
Yeah, but to start with, Lolly, when they're in the cafeteria, so and then the lights go off. So we're meant to believe she ties this bandana around her neck with a knot because she's been in Scouts or something. I don't know. She made some excuse, didn't she? So she ties it that tight that she's actually strangling herself. So, but the thing is, when the lights come back on, no one really helps her straight away. So it really could have backfired.
It's like, they're all going, oh no, Lolly's choking.
I was going, someone needs to help her. Yeah. And then good old Mac goes and like tries to undo the knots. But
and then Hannah probably leant on his chest for a moment or two.
So whilst we're talking about Lolly then, do you think she was a good villain? I mean, she must have been like super strong, as we said. But
I think she was a
good
villain. My only issue with it from a storyteller's perspective is that I don't feel she had enough airtime pre-villaining.
Yeah.
She gets strangled. She goes off the train to go home.
Yeah.
We don't know her at all before she's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like I would have liked to have seen a bit more interaction. I mean, it was a good setup because you think it's going to be the weird boys.
Yes.
You know.
Definitely. Good.
And then when Max says, oh, I thought I saw Frog, you're kind of like, oh, maybe he isn't dead. Maybe it was somebody else in the car that burned to death. Maybe, you know, like all that stuff. But I think when I liked her motivation, but I think took it a little far.
Took it to the extreme.
Took it a little extreme.
Yeah. But yeah, her motivation was good because she, at the end of the day, she loved Frog, and she basically blamed these. I'll say 5 people because you know, Jean Marie tags herself on. So
poor Jean Marie, all it was that Frog fancied her, wasn't it? So she had
to be. But yeah, essentially, it was that she was in love with Frog, and all these people had wronged Frog, and then Hannah was the person that she blamed the most because of what happened at the end with the party that you find out, and she rejected Frog.
I thought that was really nicely done, actually.
Yeah.
What I liked, I mean, I'm mocking it, but I enjoyed it. But the ending, I thought, was quite punchy. You know, I thought it was quite nice. That the whole thing of him turning up at the party all excited to be invited.
Yeah, I know.
You just think, oh God, this is going to go Carrie any minute now. You know?
I thought that it was only a couple of pages of like backstory, but you get them right at the end. But they were really well written, and you actually did feel sorry for Frog.
And actually, these things do not, you know, without being too serious, but these things are what lead to high school shootings now and stuff. You know, it's these things, these over emotional teenage years and things that go wrong. So, you know, as much as it was over the top in the way that this fun story unfolds, you know, it wasn't unemotionally correct.
Yeah, definitely. I just saw someone put something funny. So when we were talking about
I love that she keep popping up. Lolly was super resilient. How many times did she keep popping up? She did, didn't she? She was like, I'm behind you again.
It's me. Surprise. But yeah, Ghost in the Pages has put about when we're saying, you know, no one helped her when she was choking, and freezing in panic is more common reaction, which is true.
But a whole trainload of them, you'd think one of them would have like broken.
To become a mum's put, it would be too much for it to be the lead's boyfriend, which is where it often goes.
I did think it was going to be Mac for a minute because he was so nice.
So nice. But yeah, it is normally like the boyfriend or the best friend generally in a point horror. Yeah, normally. We get a few surprises every now and again like this one. Emma's put, didn't Lolly stay at the party while Frog went home? Oh, I'm not sure. Did she go after Frog?
Yeah, she goes after Frog. And she's saying to Frog, I told you it was going to be a hoax.
Yeah, and Karen's asked the biggest question, but can you really do cash on delivery corpses across the country? There was a flaw in that plan.
That was the funniest line when she said, and his parents are going to be so pissed off when they get the invoice for the coffin. Their son's dead. I don't think the invoice for this mythical coffin.
Oh dear. Luna's put, Lolly was super resilient. How many times she keep popping up? Yeah. Do you know what I picked up on? I don't know whether you noticed it, but why did they find a blue comb, I understand, in the hatches above with 2 teeth? Oh, I wonder if it... Oh, hang on. I think I might have misunderstood. Was it a blue comb with 2 teeth? or a blue comb and 2 teeth. It was really random.
It was a blue comb with 2 teeth, surely.
It's gotta be.
Remember the blue comb? This must have been my fevered night. Must have.
It's when they like first go, they find out Lolly's been using the hatches.
Well, Lolly's been like dressing up as a dead boy covered in burns. She's done that in like no time at all.
Yeah, you know, on and off, on and off.
Then jumped back up through the hatch, gone and grabbed Jean Marie by the hair, dragged her along, thrown her out the window.
If someone has got the book and they want to check about that 2 teeth thing, I don't know whereabouts it is, somewhere towards the end. But
commented about that it was 2 teeth left in the comb.
Oh, Dawn's put 2 teeth in the comb. I thought it meant a comb and 2 teeth. And I was like, is Lolly pulling out her teeth and then putting them back in or something?
To do like,
Why would there be 2 teeth? Yeah, okay, that confused me.
How does it fare up against other point horrors? That's my. Is it a good point horror?
For me, I thought this was a good point horror. People in the comments let us know what you thought. But
are you back?
I thought for this one it was a good point horror. Dawn's put Lolly pulling out teeth. Oh my god. I honestly, it really confused me, but now it makes more sense that it was the comb.
Although I kind of would have liked it to be, whose teeth has she got?
Yeah, exactly.
Are they frog's teeth?
Honestly, I read it and I was like, that's a bit extreme. Taking it a bit extreme, Lolly.
Because when I saw how many other books this woman had written, I thought, I bet this is like, because actually it had a good emotional punch. Lots happened. You never got like, oh, this is a dull bit. You know, there was everything. It was like that. It was going, you know.
Yeah.
It was only the kind of like, I mean, Lolly did make me laugh with her full makeup on the top bunk. And I thought, but she's taken a bit of a risk there. Like, what if someone pokes her and goes, well, it can't be Frog because he's dead. You know, like.
But how did Hannah not hear her breathing? So basically, Lolly's hiding on the bunk, dressed up as Frog with full makeup on. There's obviously no dead body smell.
And also, you know, I mean, I'm all for gender fluidity, but she's Lolly, a teenage girl. I mean, like a burnt boy. No doubt his t-shirt would have been stuck to his chest, and you know, he went up in a blaze, didn't he?
It would have been burn smell and
crispy, rotten, all that stuff. Yeah. And she was like, no, I just popped the makeup on and I pop it off.
Just pop it on, pop it off.
Toss someone over my shoulder, throw them out a window, go back, do it all. I mean, she kind of earned it, didn't she? She earned to be successful. She did not deserve to die at the end.
No.
I love the way they all go, come on then, let's go around San Francisco. And then later on, we'll just say goodbye to them in our heads.
Yeah, because it's like, obviously, we'll talk about Jean Marie in a minute, but Jean Marie dies, essentially. Yeah. And then, so Hannah's like, oh, I really should go home and fly on the plane and go home. But then they're like, oh, stay with us, Hannah. And she's like, yeah, okay.
Okay, you know, let's go have a look around San Francisco.
To become a mum's put, but did she die? So Jean Marie with her pink robe, I think we're talking about, or Lolly, did she die maybe? Or do we think Lolly died? So at the end when she goes over the wall to chase after the urn, do we reckon she died?
That's like, oh no, I'd gone over the wall after the urn, damn it.
Oh god.
I think she died, don't you? Because wasn't she trying to get Hannah over the wall?
Yeah, she's got to have died. She's got to have died. I reckon the urn hit her on the head and she just went under.
Yeah.
Fed to the fishes. Oh, Wednesday Adams has put, she's found the bit about the teeth. So no sign of Lolly beyond 2 wrinkled candy wrappers and a blue comb with 2 broken teeth. Thank you.
That's so funny.
Oh,
so
no.
I can't believe you thought it was actually.
Totally misread that one.
Actually.
So, yeah, there's a few mixed things about this one. Some people are saying it was good. Kat said it was good. Thought it was a good one. To become a mum's enjoyed it. And then some people said maybe it was middle of the series, so it wasn't that good. I have seen mixed things about it. Maybe being a bit slow, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, and I think I'm just seeing someone said there they didn't find Hannah as annoying, and I didn't find her as annoying as I expected to find a teenage American girl.
Yeah,
I like that she brought a little sense of doom the minute she got on that train with her little fear of trains. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hannah.
Happy
and her
to get
fear.
on a plane, scared of a train.
Oh.
Yeah. With the wheels going, go back, go back, go back. I thought that was quite nice. It built a sense of foreboding. And you knew all the way through that she was going to have done something awful to that poor boy.
Oh.
You know.
But yeah, so essentially we get one. I was going to say we get one dead body, but we kind of got two because Frog's dead. But poor
Frog. Jean Marie, we got three.
Oh yeah, and Lolly, yeah. Forgot. But Jean Marie with her little pink robe gets thrown off. How Lolly threw her off the top of the train, Emma's just asked that question.
Well,
we don't know.
Dragging her through the hatch from the showers, along the hatch, out the thing, off the top of the train. You know. No, and Jean Marie's not screaming or shouting or anything. I suppose she had her chloroform again.
Oh, poor Jean Marie.
It was literally like, yeah, Frog fancied her, so she had to die.
She had to go. She had to go. But I really think that, it can't have been because Hannah saw it happen. But I like to think it was Hannah because Jean Marie was actually Mac's ex, and then Hannah was dating Mac. I think she'd only known Mac for like 6 weeks or something. So I like to think it was like a jealous rage that Jean Marie tagged herself to the group, trying to get back in with Mac, and like Hannah was like, "No,
have Mac back." Jean Marie was obviously the hottie, wasn't she? Everybody wanted a bit of Jean Marie.
Yeah, she had like red hair or something, didn't she? So she gave
that pink with the red hair. I'm thinking, I've never seen Molly Ringwald circa.
Oh dear, but yeah, she was gone too soon. Poor Jean Marie, bless her.
She had enough airtime for her day. I would have liked to see her do a couple of nice things.
Yeah, except all she really did was like go to the shower all the time with Kerry.
Her makeup, obviously very important when there's a killer on a train.
Yeah. As we knew from Kerry, because Kerry just had to have her makeup pristine with her purple eyeshadow, pink lipstick and things like that, and used to take ages to get ready.
Very important when you're on a train.
Yeah, especially when you're being stalked and things are happening to your friends. You know, you've always got to look good.
Yeah, especially if you're not getting off that train. Not get off this train. Maybe
No.
The police,
No.
Police got no interest in stopping this train or anything.
So there was a few comments that I received over the month about Hannah. So a lot of people didn't like Hannah at all as like a main character. Well, what did you think? Did you like her? Or
I mean, they're all very clean American kids, aren't they? Which I think is obviously a point horror. Like I imagine they're given very strict guidelines on length, what they're allowed to put in, what they're not allowed to put in.
Yeah.
I think she could have been a bit more oomphy, but she didn't look bad given that she was scared.
Yeah.
And she was doing stuff. Are they nearly always female leads?
Yeah, mainly. There's only been 2 point horrors that I've come across so far, or from what I remember, that have got a male lead.
Oh, okay.
And they're Peter Larangis's point horror. They've got a male lead in both of them. But yeah, essentially, normally, I think maybe one of R.L. Stein's has got a male lead, the girlfriend, I think. But essentially, it's normally a female lead.
Yeah. No, I thought she was all right, and I quite like that they, she got on with it without sort of getting a boyfriend to help her all the time.
Yes, yeah, she didn't really rely on Mac that much, did she?
Like, I imagine Mac was pretty, but there wasn't a lot going on behind the eyes. Had to leave occasionally, and then she got on with it.
Inside the covers, but did you notice Hannah didn't eat? Just like the main girl in Teacher's Pet who didn't eat either. I wish Point Horror characters would feed, Point Horror would feed their main characters.
America 1992 didn't eat.
So what happened was last month we read Teacher's Pet, and I had Kandara Blake on, and she said, "Why do these characters not eat?" And I've never noticed it before, but actually it's really true.
Dining car though, but it was closed.
Oh,
and no, so there wasn't any food. Then they said, "It's all right, we can eat in San Francisco," wherever it was they were ending up.
yeah. To become a mum's, sometimes you do hear the voice of a male killer for an odd chapter here and there, like sometimes in other Point Horrors. So,
like killer viewpoint kind of thing.
Yeah. So in Funhouse by Diane Hoh, we do get like a bit of an insight into the killer's kind of mind with some alternate chapters. So yeah. So sometimes you get a mixed bag, but essentially it's normally the girl. Eddie's videos put, I was like, "Girl, you can get a job as a memo artist, a pro wrestler, a coffin fitter person. Don't waste your life on a silly revenge." Oh, makeup artist. Oh dear. And Scott's put, "I think Hannah loses a few points for wandering off by herself in the arcade at the end." Yeah, but to be fair, like, she did think Lolly had like written with that powder puff pink lipstick and jumped off the train.
Yeah. I mean, no one was buying that though, were they?
No
one was buying that. "I've killed myself, but you're not going to find my body routine."
Instead, she just went back up and through all the things. You know, no one's going to hear her crawling around.
No, can you imagine? You know, because she must have been quite solid because she could pull all these things around and jump through things. So I can't imagine her like being some tiny 5-foot little mouse of a person like creeping along silently. God.
Oh, and Karen's put, "Those ceiling panels were super sturdy too, with all the bodies rolling around up there." Oh gosh, funny. But Hannah, for me, I didn't mind her. I thought she was okay. And I thought she was quite, I want to say she was quite loyal to her friends. Maybe a bit loyal.
The thing is, I never got the feeling that she overly liked her friends.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Like, there was never, you know, she was a bit like, "Oh, what am I doing on this train? Oh, I should just go home. Oh, these are all my friends. And oh, it's Frog's coffin." Like, and I think there should have been more of a kind of, "Oh my God, it's Frog's coffin," you know?
Yeah, like no one really, like the adults didn't even question why there was an empty coffin on the train.
No, there was a lot. I think Frog's coffin was quite weak in it. You know, like when she's found in the coffin, why is the train detective not saying, "Why was there no body in the coffin? What is this coffin doing? Trace who sent this coffin?" "Oh, look, no. Shelley did." Lolly did, sorry. Lolly did.
Oh, yeah, there was no question. And I think I was talking to Lisa from B for Book, that she couldn't be here tonight, but she kind of said to me the one thing, that the number one thing for her was that a random stranger on a train, so the doctor, was allowed to take Lolly back to Chicago. Yeah. Like, and how would that work? Like, there's no school guardian.
Yeah, and her parents haven't come to meet her because she's nearly been choked to death. And then it's like, and then she said, "Oh yeah," and then I told him I was just going to go to sleep. So then I hopped off the train and I'm on this train. You're like, surely they would have radioed the train and gone, "Oh my God, she's gone missing from this train." You know, like when they've clearly found she's not there.
Someone's just put, was it Wednesday? She's put, "Kerry was a proper knob."
Oh, Kerry.
And then Eddie's video said he really wanted Kerry to be the killer. At any point did you think she might be the killer? Because I did. Just a little part.
I kind of, because she kept disappearing off to do things, I was like, "Oh, is she, you know, is she?" But I think that they did do that quite well with like Mac disappearing off. And then, you know, this idea that she did kind of do that. Which one is it? Well,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
she showed her hand a bit early with Lolly and the choking.
Yeah.
If they'd had a thing where they knew that Lolly had said something to Frog early days or something like, oh, well, on her first day at this school, that,
Yeah.
the fact that she was one of Frog's friends.
Yeah. I thought the twist was good. I did like it.
Yeah.
And to become a mum's, but don't they have radios or other useful forms of communication in Point Horror?
The train was getting on and no one was getting off till it got going.
Yeah, definitely. And then also as well, there was meant to be 2 chaperones for these children. So what was her name? Was it? I've written it down. Mrs. I've written it down somewhere. Miss Quick. So Clara Quick. And then apparently there was a male chaperone as well called Mr. Dobbs. Where was he?
He was diddling Miss Quick.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I reckon he was just like, oh, you lying in bed, you go deal with the kids.
Carry on. I'm in the back having a fag on the there. Bag. I remember Kerry's heavy bag. That stuff in it for a little while.
Yeah.
And I realised it was just makeup mainly.
Yeah, but this Mr. Dobbs, I mean, he only appeared right at the end, and that was to go home after Jean Marie dies.
I was and the male teachers on supervision were always like that.
Yeah, that's true. Oh dear. And there's a few people in the comments, Emma and our Cozy Liverpool Home, talking about the ice pick scene. Now, the ice pick scene in this book is my absolute favourite scene.
What happened with the ice pick?
So basically, let's set the scene. So Hannah's just seen this body in the bunk, gone to get her help, comes back, the body's not there. And as usual, the adults and no one believes her and just thinks she's had this nightmare. And she seems to go into this mode of stroppy teen mode. I don't give a shit anymore. You lot can just die kind of mode. And they go to the little movie theatre thing on the train, which sounded really cool. I can just imagine Hannah sitting there a bit like with a face on her watching this film. And she hears this whoosh past her ear and a like that. But she's like, yeah, something's just happened, but I'm badass. I don't.
Doesn't Lewis get it with the ice pick? Yeah.
Yes, but it's just the way that she's she knows something's happened.
No, whatever.
She's like, yeah.
I tried to tell you about the body. No one was listening
you
to
lot
me.
Can just get on with it.
Yeah.
And then they turn the lights back on after the movie's finished, and Lewis goes, I think I've been stabbed. Yeah. And then she's like, yeah, you've been stabbed with an ice pick.
And also, can we just take a moment to think about who goes into, number one, a movie theatre on a train. It's not big, is it? We're not talking about, it's not a big
It's going to be a small compartment,
so you can imagine Lolly, excuse me. I just need to get quite close to Lewis because I've got to throw this ice pick. Make sure it hits him. Because if it missed and just clattered to the floor or something.
Well, it's one thing for Lolly, she's got good aim, because how did she do that in the dark?
You want her on your team in the zombie apocalypse, don't you?
She must have been eating those carrots so she could see in the dark.
I totally forgot about that. I think my brain was like... What just happened?
I love that scene that much that I had to read it twice because I just thought it was brilliant. It's classic point horror, but it was just Hannah just having this full-on strop, knowing full well something has just whooshed past her and she's heard someone say ouch or something.
Ouch,
and she's just
ouch. I've been stabbed. Thankfully it's not, it's because it was quite, it was it missed his organs, but it was still a proper stabbing, wasn't it?
I think he was, well, was it in his, I thought he said he was in his collarbone.
Yeah, I mean, you'd notice it. I don't think it'd be I'll just, I'll wait till the film ends. Don't want to disturb anybody. I won't pop to the loo and check it out just yet.
Yeah.
Even though someone got strangled earlier.
Yeah, but it's just the way, even after, she has no regrets over not doing anything straight away.
And Lewis, who really cared? Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah, with his little carroty hair.
Yeah.
And oh,
Yeah.
bless him. And his little glasses.
Yeah, she had to give him those things because other than that, there was nothing about him to remember.
No, I don't remember much about Lewis other than his hair colour.
Yeah, yeah, and
and the ice pick. I mean, I do love an ice pick death, but unfortunately he didn't die.
Wasn't exactly Basic Instinct, was it?
No. Unfortunately he didn't die. He lived, and we still had to put up with him for the rest of the book. To become a mum's, but why an ice pick? Couldn't a knife suffice? Or was it a clue? Ice pick, ice lolly. Oh,
very good. I think a little sophisticated for this book. Because also, like, I mean, you kind of think scissors would have been the more school. Like, what am I going to stab him with? I know, an ice pick.
Yeah, because where has she got this ice pick from?
The buffet car, maybe? I don't know.
Buffet car, maybe. I mean, he just has an ice pick lying around.
Yeah, here's one I brought with me from home.
Yeah. And like I said to my husband after I read it, oh, we'll have to get an ice pick. We need one in the house. And he's like, what? No.
No, thanks.
Did you have a favourite scene that you read in the book?
I think it was the coffin. It was definitely her being in the coffin, because I did find that actually quite creepy. I mean, I thought I found the ending when Lolly pops up again entertaining. You know, like, it was a bit like moustache twirling, kind of, I'm behind you. You know, that made me laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the coffin was the bit that stayed with me the most. And I think for me, because it was my first point horror, I was waiting for some supernatural. So that was quite good for me, because I was like, is it going to be a ghost story? Isn't it going to be a ghost story? Is there going to be supernatural? So that added a layer of suspense to it that for you probably less there, because they're normally kind of Scooby-Doo-ish, it seems like. Yeah,
definitely like Scooby-Doo-ish, definitely. I think that there was a series called Point Horror Unleashed, and that kind of was like it was UK British authors, and it was more supernatural than the normal Point Horror. So they did try and go down like a supernatural route with the Point Horror Unleashed, which was different, but some of them worked, some of them didn't. And you know, but you know, we like our traditional point horror where it's like
American teenagers with ice picks getting thrown.
Oh dear. Eddie's videos put Lewis and Mac were just really good people, to be honest. Probably my favourite characters. He has put lol. So I'm
they were just, you can imagine Lewis and Mac at the end in some coffee shop, not a bar, because they're wholesome kids, just going, women, eh?
Women. Oh god, they'll be like, oh, doesn't Hannah exaggerate?
I know. I mean, Jesus Christ, Lolly
pretending she was nearly killed. Oh gosh, and poor old Mac as well, like all these things. So you've got Hannah being like stalked and terrorized. What happens to Kerry? Does something happen to Kerry? I'm sure it does, but I can't remember. Oh no, I can't remember.
I think the worst thing that could possibly happen to Kerry would be someone steal her makeup bag.
Yeah,
I think that
something
would be
like that, or her luggage.
Yeah,
or that she has to wear the same outfit twice, because that was mentioned.
Yeah.
And then you've got Lewis with the ice pick, and then Mac, he just gets locked in a shed when the train had stopped and they had got off the train. He gets locked in some shed somewhere.
Maybe because he was probably a big football player, wasn't he? She probably thought, you know, I'm pretty tough. You know, I'm not taking him on.
What can I do?
Yeah.
But then they do get back on the train for some reason. But anyway.
Oh yeah, the bunk scare. Kate Ellis says the bunk scare was meant for Kerry. That was what was supposed to happen for Kerry.
Oh yes,
but
that was meant to be for Kerry.
Come on off a train, like poor G. She must have been like, why couldn't I have the scare? Why couldn't I just have the scary bit?
Yeah.
Why did I have to get thrown off a moving train?
I wonder if that was her last thought as she got through off the train, was like, why couldn't I just have a jump scare?
Exactly.
Scott's put, ouch is not the reaction I would have to getting an ice pick in my shoulder. Yeah, because the thing is, James, was it James? That's his name, wasn't it? I think. Or we know Lewis. Sorry,
Yeah.
but I don't know who James is. Some character I've made up. So Lewis, he just sits there with this ice pick in his shoulder for however long that film was, which sounded like it was like Terminator or
And
Total
also,
Recall.
surely you'd go, oh, what's happened to my shoulder? Oh, there's an ice pick sticking out of it. Oh, well. I have Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end of this film.
To become a mum's, but Point Horror clearly gave strict word counts and perhaps body counts.
Oh, I bet they had really strict guidelines. You have
yeah,
out of, like attacks. There's something has to happen in each chapter, or
yeah, definitely. And I think sometimes, so R.L. Stine wrote for Point Horror as well, and I think sometimes he just broke the mold, and I think he was at a point where it's just like, yeah, pile them up. So there's like the beach house where there's just like loads of dead bodies. I think that might be the highest one I've come across so far. Yeah, loads of them. He just piles them up. He doesn't stop. Emma's put, Americans don't say ice lolly, do they? Yeah, that's a good point. Eddie's put, I didn't say they were perfect about Mac and Lewis. Kerry gets separated from her suitcase. Yeah, that was the tragedy for Kerry right at the beginning. And Karen's put, I'm glad I read this after I had been to America and seen those massive trains. If I read this one first as a kid, I'd have imagined East Coast trains in the UK and been so confused.
English trains.
Oh dear. And yeah, to become a mum's, put Beach House was an early Point Horror, so maybe they put in restrictions after it to make it more believable. Maybe. I just like to think R.F. Stein just was like, I'm not sticking to your guidelines.
You want to stop me? This is what you're getting.
Definitely. Yeah, so the ending, as we said, so just to kind of finish up, would you have done the ending differently, or do you think it was, you said it was your favourite kind of seeing the end, but do you think it could have been done differently?
I mean, I get the sense she had to pull something out of the bag at the end, had to have a twist.
Yeah.
It would have been nice if it had turned out that one of the other kids had been working with Lolly. You think you've got your baddie, and then actually Kerry's like, well, Lolly and I bonded over lipstick colours, and I'm helping her because, sort of a tip. But I think the ending worked for me, not so much because of Lolly, but because of, I thought it handled that emotionally well with Frog. That reveal of Frog's been the kind of monster over everybody through this thing, and then actually he was just this kid. I mean, it was interesting that he was definitely a loner kid, and there was something off about him. Yeah, because everybody sensed it. Yeah, but still, definitely. He wanted to be included, And there was always that kid at school. I mean, I wasn't like an overly popular kid, but I was not, I was middling, I wasn't at the bottom or the top. Yeah. But there were always those kids that you didn't know quite why they weren't cool. Or they couldn't quite get in that gang that they wanted to be in. Whichever gang it was, there's always someone who wanted to be in that gang. And yeah, it did make me feel sad for him when he wanted to party and then couldn't.
Yeah. And what do we think? Do we think that Hannah, because obviously he drove the car at high speed, obviously upset because he'd been rejected from this party that he'd been invited to by Hannah, and then she changed her mind last minute because he was too uncool. So who do we blame for Frog's death? Are we blaming Hannah, or is it just a tragic accident?
It's by the end of that, I was a bit like, right, so she basically caused this boy's death and clearly covered that right up in the aftermath of it and didn't let on at all. She kept that very much to herself.
She did.
And then it's like, oh, Jean Marie's dead. Oh, well, never mind. We'll do some sightseeing and have a nice time, and then we'll go and say our goodbyes to Lolly and Frog and everybody properly. And I thought, actually, like, Kerry's shallow, but I can see why Kerry's your friend, Hannah. You know,
Yeah.
because you think you're deep, but actually you're just as bad as the others. So yeah, those typical, you know, if it was a movie, they'd all be eaten by the piranhas and Hannah would just about survive, but you'd be thinking, Hannah, you know.
Now, funny enough you say about piranhas, because we read a book a few months ago which did have a piranha death in it for Point Horror.
I would have liked that.
Yeah, so
one of the things from my childhood that I thought would be more of a problem in adult life, piranha, quicksand, and spontaneous combustion. I thought more heavily as fear factors, and you know, like the things you're afraid of as a kid.
Yeah,
literally have never impacted on your life ever. Definitely up there.
Oh dear. Emma put I just saw Emma put that she loved Beach House, and she said Sarah would have broken the Point Horror rules like R.L. Stein. I think you would have, Sarah. I think, like, if you wrote for Point Horror, how many dead bodies would you try and get in?
Well, there's 148 pages. I could go one every 10.
One every 10.
Me out in one go or something, couldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, a bit like that. Have you ever seen that film Ghost Ship? Where, like, at the start, I think it's from the 90s or something, but at the start, it just wipes the whole ship out.
Yeah. It's ringing a bell, definitely.
Yeah, like, so it'd be like that. Yes, if you read Sarah's book, she kills someone off, like, every 10 round. No, really. Oh, but that would be a Point Horror I would love to read, Sarah. I think we need to petition for it to happen.
We should do it for charity, like a challenge one. Like, can you kill a person every 10 pages and still hold the story together?
Oh, imagine how many characters you'd need to do that as well.
No.
Oh dear. Luna's put, I liked Hannah until the reveal of her behaviour. Cruel.
I knew she was going to have done something, but I sort of thought it would be more misunderstood rather than awful.
Yeah.
Whereas actually, if you're hosting a massive party where the entire class is coming and you've invited the kid, just let him come, man.
I mean, what harm would it have done?
I know. Like, if everyone
she would have just lost a bit of street cred. Yeah. Oh, bless her. Wednesday Adams has put, and acid rain, so you know, like the things. Yeah,
acid rain.
All these things that never happen, and
it did happen in places. Whereas, like, you know, the chances of me swimming in a piranha-infested river, or them coming up through my toilet, or in my bathwater, all those things that I thought about after watching those piranha films in the 80s.
Oh, I'll tell one film that got me back in the day was Arachnophobia, because I'm scared of spiders anyway, but I still now just have a little look underneath the toilet every now and again before I go, just to make sure there's no spiders. Oh, that was like, ooh. A lot of people saying about Ghost Ship being good. So if you haven't seen that, Sarah, I do recommend it.
Years ago, but I'm going to go and dig it out again.
Yeah, because they just wipe out like the whole within like the first 10 minutes. It's quite interesting. Inside the covers, but always snakes are going to come up through the toilet. Yeah.
Yes, and crocodiles, because there was some in the New York film.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Oh no, I'm not sleeping tonight now.
And in a cup of water by your bed. Like, my aunt used to have orange juice by her bed, and she went to take a big swig and crunched a massive spider.
Oh!
So now I never have anything with any flavour in it by my bed. Water.
Oh, I always, if I have like a cup, I always put like something on top of it.
That's a good plan. I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah, so I'll put something on top of it just to, because imagine you wake up and have a little swig and a bit like, something in my teeth.
Spiders over your life, don't they, in your sleep?
Yeah.
I'll tell you that to freak you out. But sometimes when you wake up, sometimes you're kind of like, Followed a spider. Is that a little spider?
Oh dear, I just wake up and I'm drooled on, like on the pillow. Like, yeah, no spider would come near me. They'd be like, ooh. Oh dear. Oh my God. Dawn's put snake in the toilet happened to a family member. So I put it in a book. Yeah. Oh my God. We need to know more, Dawn, because that's terrifying. Oh dear. I think as well, like we've gone into like toilet talk here, but as well, do you remember do you remember the film Critters back in the 80s?
Yeah.
And I'm sure one of them comes up from the toilet.
Everything. It's always a thing. I think something has to come up through the toilet.
And Eddie's videos put spider in the orange juice. Now that's a point horror scene right there, and that is oh yeah, Dawn, you put it in Creeper Man. Yeah, now I think about it, but that's terrifying. I didn't actually know that was true.
That's gonna be double checking now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be checking my drink before bed.
Just some bleach down the toilet, so hopefully they won't want to come up.
Toilet.
You know, like they'll come up, smell the bleach, and I'm going to somebody else's toilet.
Oh, you're going to give us all nightmares, Sarah, all nightmares. There's a scene in Ghoulies where one comes up from the toilet too. Oh my God, so much toilet death. Oh dear. So do you think we have convinced you to obviously read more point horror?
Tell you what, if I'm somewhere and there's one of these on the shelf, you know when you go to a place and there's like they leave books on the shelves, I will definitely pick it up and read.
Yay! So I was really interested because I knew you hadn't read point horror, and you were kind enough to say, yeah, I'll read one, I'll join in, and I was really hoping that you'd enjoy it and that we'd convince you maybe to get some more. So
it was great fun. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
But I might have to try the beach house and see what
I would try the beach house and the hitchhiker.
Oh, I think it always works for me.
Yeah, I think you'd enjoy both of those.
Okay.
They've got a good death count and they've got quite good twists. Yeah, so I think
I might
you'd really
get
enjoy
them onto my Kindle if they're on. I had to get like a specialist bookseller for like $2.99 because they just didn't even have it on Amazon, I don't think.
Oh yeah, because you can't. You can only get second-hand copies. They haven't reprinted them. They did reprint a couple of Diane Hoh's with different covers for Kindle. You can get a lot.
Cover one actually. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you can get a few there, on Kindle with different covers. But yeah, mainly like all the collection I've got behind I've picked up from eBay or Abe Books and things like that.
It was Abe Books I got it from.
Yeah, that's it. The girl with the greyhound has just put, Sarah, we love you, and loved behind her eyes, best book ever.
Thank you.
It's such a good book though, and I always remember when that came out and the hashtag was always like WTF that ending, and I still think that now. So honestly, it's so good. But yeah, so so to become a mum's asked what's our next book. So I'm going to put the vote up on, what day is it? On Wednesday. So I think I was doing between The Phantom and The Mummy, which is by one of the authors that we haven't read yet, which is Barbara Steiner. So I thought it might be quite interesting to read someone we haven't read. But I'll put that vote up on Wednesday and we'll see which one wins. And then we'll read that one. So maybe you might have to join in with us again, Sarah.
I'll have a little look.
But as I say, everyone, thank you, Sarah.
Thank
and honestly,
you for having
check
me.
out Sarah's new book. So as Sarah said, it's 99p on Kindle at the moment.
For about 2 more days, I think.
For about 2 days.
Yeah.
But if not, get this really nice hard copy cover, because I'm not doing it justice. It's absolutely amazing, and as I say, I'm really enjoying it. But thank you for joining us, Sarah, and reading with us.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone who's joined in, and we hope you feel better and get some rest.
I'm going to
thank you for doing it.
Curl up.
People are saying, please come again, Sarah.
I will.
We'd love to have you back.
Which one the next one is.
Yay! Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.